Hello, Ted and Nancy. My name is Pat Stino, and I'm one of the construction managers for Epic out here at Anthem in Broomfield. And today, June 2nd, we are doing what we are fondly referring to as our pre-drywall video due to the nature of our environment and the COVID-19 restrictions. We are, rather than you and I doing this face-to-face and with each other, we are recording a video. Hopefully I will catch anything. And we're going to walk your entire outside and inside of your house, show you what things look like, where your options are, what you've selected, where things are located, before we go to insulation and drywall. Just so you know what my current schedule looks like. This week of June 1st, I am preparing for all of my rough inspections with the City of Broomfield, and those begin tomorrow, Wednesday. And I hope to pass everything. I've really been paying fine attention to the details of your home. We've got all of the low volt wiring in and inspected, and we start our rough inspections tomorrow with the city. If all goes well, we will be stocking drywall on Monday, the 8th, June 8th, Monday, June 8th. So that gives me this week to make any modifications and corrections or inspection corrections. And then we'll be insulating over the weekend and stocking drywall on Monday. And Craig and or Kyle will be in touch with you as to what that translates into his finished schedule. We're holding off on projections right now due to the coronavirus, where we have to space our contractors independently into a house. We can't, as we normally would, put dissimilar contractors in a house. We'd have an electrician with a plumber, or a low volt with an electrician, things like that. We have to keep each trade separate in the house, which kind of stretches the schedule a little bit, and I hope you understand that fact. The good thing about it is we are able to continue working. They haven't shut us down as long as we abide by the guidelines and restrictions of our governor, our state, our city, and our company. And that is the safety and well-being of all people, our trades and our employees. So that has stretched the schedules a little bit, but not much. We are trying to hold as true as we can. Something happens in every house every day. So today what's happening in your house is pre-drywall video. I have this little checklist that we use, and we're going to be talking about many things today: grading and drainage, gutters and downspouts, elevations, window grids, electrical, low volt, plumbing, mechanical, change orders, and then the projected schedule. So we'll be covering these areas. So we're starting outside today, and we can see that you have selected an escape plan, and it is the modern prairie elevation, which has a combination of 3 different types of exterior cladding. There's siding, painted siding, there's stucco, and there's stone. We have the siding installed, and then after inspections this week, we'll be starting the masonry work, the stucco and the stone. Now that may not happen exactly next week. There's a couple of houses in sequence ahead of yours, but within the next 2 weeks we'll be setting scaffolding to do all of the stucco and stonework on the exterior. So as you can see on the exterior, anything that still has the green cladding or the green board is our wall sheathing, and that's where we have yet to install masonry, any masonry product, whether it's stone or stucco. So also we leave everything open, every soffit open, everything open for the inspectors to see every bit of wiring, framing connectors, draft stopping, making sure that I get all exterior penetration sealed. So there's several areas that are still open, but that all happens in correct sequence, along with and in front of and behind the masonry applications. So here we are, modern prairie elevation. You see you've got 3 garage windows on the single bay, the entryway, and on the modern prairie elevation, there are no window grids. Okay, so this being the exterior of a modern prairie elevation, I'm going to pull the garage door down so you can get a sense for what the front facade, what the windows look like in the garage. These are the garage doors for the modern prairie. There are no grids in the garage door windows either. So as we're going to move around the outside, as we move to, this would be the south side of your home, garage side. You come down, you can see everywhere that's green, like I mentioned, will be masonry, whether it's stone or stucco. This is our main gas meter. gas going into the garage. We'll show you that in a few minutes. We come down this side of the house. Got hose bib located here. This is a bedroom window in the basement. We have a 110 outlet here for your request, and then this is the hot tub pre-wire, which if you're going to put it on the patio, that'll connect right to this disconnect that we mount here. We've got a retaining wall built and installed here, and that's to provide required drainage. Something I failed to mention up front is this is a picture of the plot plan, and it has all kinds of information on here, but it shows the footprint of your house, the outside of the foundation, and then it shows us this retaining wall right here, which I believe, I would hope that Craig had talked to you about that at contract and given you a copy of this. If you have not gotten a copy of this, please request one, and we'll get one to you immediately, whether Craig or Kyle send that to you. And if there's any other documents you need, please just ask. This also provides us with directional arrows on how the drainage is going to work on your lot. And you can see in the rear here, everything, all drainage is designed to go to the back fence line and off into the open space. Off the sides of the houses, we have to maintain the drainage percentage of slopes that are stipulated, and those will be certified at the end of the construction period. But this is your lot perimeter, your house footprint, and then all kinds of drainage dimensions and slopes of grade that we need to maintain. This little stop sign figure that you see on your plot plan, those are the number of steps into and out of the house. So for example, at the front porch, we're going to be coming up 3 steps, and then there's 1 step into the front entry. From the garage, the 2-car garage, there's 4 steps going up into the owner's entry. In the 1-car garage, there's 3 steps going up into the owner's entry. At the back, at the rear, you're going to step down to the patio, 1 step down to the patio above to the deck, and then there's 17 steps from the upper deck down to lower grade. So that's what that stop sign symbol represents, is the number of steps going into and out of the house. So this will kind of give you an idea here. Once we move around, we'll give you a panoramic shot of the rear yard so you can see how that's shaping out. Now, I'm not fine graded yet. We are, after I do all the masonry work, is when we move to fine grading. So I'll get all the masonry work completed first, and then we'll move to grading. So as we come around the rear of the house, on this back corner, pardon me, looking at your electrical drawing, which is a little bit hard to read. And then I also have the low volt drawings here once we get into the house. And on this back corner, per your request, we've added that hot tub pre-wire. We've also added a 110 outlet in a box up in the deck above, and I'll show you that in a moment, and that's on a switch from the inside, and I'll point that out on the inside when we get there. So as you move around down this retaining wall, see this provides a little bit of a nice secluded area down to your patio. Good planting area. And this view here will show you a pretty good panoramic view of your rear yard. And once I get things graded up to concrete elevation, this is a pretty gently sloping backyard, very usable, and it all drains back to the fence line. So looking at the rear of your home, this is the back patio on the lower level. Got our deck supports, deck stair supports here. I'm going to move on to the patio. And as I mentioned, we still have everything open here. Our columns are still open for inspection purposes. This is the outlet, the switched outlet you've requested up under the deck. That's what this is right here in this deck ceiling. It goes into the house and into the sub panel. On this side of the door, of the patio door, we have waterproof outlet. We also have a coach light that goes here. From a low volt standpoint, as I pull this open, bear with me, you've requested this is what the low volt mini looks like, which I'm sure you were very much involved in. So I go to the basement level, and we placed a CP next to the electrical box. This is the best location to put that here. So that's the CP location and the CP is the phone and data cable satellite port. That's what that port there is. So as we move off of the rear patio, we'll move around to the rear of the house. If we look at the rear elevation here, as I mentioned earlier, everything that's green will be stone and or stucco. Down below, next to the patio doors, this whole wall here is masonry, and the deck is all masonry application as well. You can see everything is open, our soffits, the lighting, and we'll look at that lighting and other items when we get up there. This being the rear elevation. This pipe sticking out of the wall here. On walkout lots, which you have a walkout basement, we installed 2 sump pumps. One high in the unfinished portion of the basement, and then one down low, high on lot, and low on lot. We provide and install a complete interior perimeter drain system. And that's to collect any percolating water that may come up through the ground, or any precipitation that soaks down into the ground that may get down to the footing elevation. Well, inside, underneath the concrete slab, we have a drain system. And we have a sump pit and low point and pump installed in the low point and in the high point of the basement. And I'll point those both out to you when we get inside. But this is the ejection pipe for the low sump pump. Then here we are on the north side, which this is the main electrical service disconnect. Now you've opted for an interior load center, and I'll show you that when we get into the basement. But in the exterior loads and into the exterior meter panel, we've got what I finally refer to as the heavies. Your air conditioning disconnects may be here, some other high voltage, the main feed to the sub panel, a couple other miscellaneous breakers will be in this panel, but it's mainly the heavies. Then everything for the house will be in that sub panel in the basement. This is low volt termination coming out of the house. This is low volt pre-wire underground from Comcast, Excel, CenturyLink, whoever your service provider may be. There's conduit under the ground to come from the rear feed pedestals, and then there'll be a disconnect placed here, or what's called a demarc, and everything will, telephone, cable, satellite, everything will terminate here, and then your low volt connections, your main connections, cable, and things like that, everything will connect outside here. Then we have a sub panel inside for your low volt, which I'll show you in a bit. Other items on this north face, as you can see, we're coming up the walkout basement. This is a window going into the rec room. This is where the air conditioning unit sits. So this is the condensate lines for the air conditioner. This is the power and a service outlet for the air conditioning service area. You could point down into the window well. In every area in a basement or in a walkout, we do provide a drain in that window well, so that if any moisture or water would ever fill up in there, it'd go into the pipe, into the interior drain system, to the sump pit, and then it would eject out of the sump pump. So this side of the home, we've got these penetrations here are our furnace, intake and exhaust, water heater, intake and exhaust. We've got an irrigation sprinkler tee here. This copper pipe is for the, we'll be installing a vacuum breaker. And as you are aware, we provide front yard landscaping. So right below this vacuum breaker location, all of the valves for the sprinkler system will be installed in the ground to service the front yard. The valve box is large enough to accommodate additional zones and valves for rear yard irrigation. So everything will be set up for the front yard with room for expansion in the zone box. Hose bib, front hose bib. This is the front ejection pipe for the uphill sump pump. So we'll look at that when we get inside as well. That's pretty much the extent of the north face. You can see up in front we've got downspouts. Also in the soffit, you've requested a holiday circuit. That's what that electrical out there is the holiday lights. You get to your electrical mini, pardon me. Yep, that's the holiday circuit, the Eve outlet. As we move back around to the front of the single bay garage, you see on this corner of this garage is another downspout. which will come right down the corner and come out into the landscape, the rock area of the landscape. So that pretty much covers the outside. You can see these are called quick flashes. These are where the coach light will go on either side of the two-stall garage, and then on this side of the single-stall garage. As we come into the single-stall garage, we're pretty much we're finished with everything. Now we've got outlets around each wall. You've also requested in this garage 2 additional 110 outlets. This is your add-on. You've also requested from low volt in here I call it the right thing, a CP, and a CP again is a phone, data, and cable satellite port. We've got this outlet here, which is a standard outlet. This is where the irrigation clock for the landscaping will be placed. And I'm going to mark on the wall here that this is irrigation, just so others know, IR for irrigation. On this wall is an additional added outlet that you've requested, and our standard outlet. So we've got two outlets on this study wall, or interior master bath B wall. On the outside wall, additional circuit. Up on the ceiling, we have a ceiling light. We have a garage door opener pre-wire, the low volt for the sensors down by the door. Also a power outlet to plug a garage door opener into. From the, I guess you would call this the owner's entry from the single stall, there's just a single switch inside, and that's for the interior light as you enter. I'm going to open up the big garage door. This is the front entry. What we have at the front entry are recessed cans in the ceiling. There are 3. 1, 2, 3. We have a power source on the front porch, a waterproof outlet, and these are controlled inside, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Right here, always on every house, this is the doorbell location. Whether you install a ring, we'll just have a push button there for a standard doorbell. And we'll open up the 2-car garage. Okay, and as we enter the 2-car garage, option you requested is we've got a 220 40 amp circuit here for car charger. This was a location that Craig gave me this week, so that's where that is located. And we got this wire cut to length, so if we needed to move it, it would only be shorter to the panel. I can't go any further away from the panel. Hopefully this will be in the correct location for your car. You see we got the gas main boxed in. This is standard service outlet. This is what's called the CEE, or a UFER ground. CEE stands for concrete encased electrode. And that's a piece of rebar which goes all the way down through the foundation to the footing. And we have 2 means of grounding our electrical system or your house. One, this comes all the way from the house panel, and we ground to the CEE. Another is we have a bonding ground on the water line, on the underground water line, and I'll show you that when we get to the basement. Other additional electrical items in the 2-car garage. Bear with me, this is difficult to read. We got an add-on dedicated circuit right here. We've got switches up on the wall, which I'll speak to in a moment. We had the outlet located here. We moved it to the side wall. This is our standard outlet. We also moved the standard switch, so we've got a 110 dedicated. We moved the standard to the side wall. And then we've added the car charger. Also, I missed as we walked by, I've got another switched holiday circuit in the eave right outside this 2-car garage. And I'll show you that switching in a moment. Right out here in the eave around the corner is the switched holiday circuit. You can also see a downspout location which will come out of the gutter, off to the wall, down, and off to the side yard. You've requested that we move our standard switches from this side to this side, and we've done that. See my name there, that's the electrician reminding himself to talk to me about it. So we've got coach lights, outside coach lights on the garages. Those are on a three-way, and I'll show you that at to the front entry. We've got two lights in the garage, and then we have the holiday circuit switch separated. So again, in the garage, same as the single stall, up in the ceiling, we've got two lights in the two car. We've got power outlet and low volt wires going down for the garage door open. So we call this the owner's entry. So as you come into the owner's entry, the door will swing open. You've got a switch right here ahead of yourself to turn what I call traveling lights on ahead as you're walking. So we have a closet here off to the right. We've got pantry to the left. Inside the pantry there's a switch with a recessed can. So we've got lights on ahead of ourselves. As we're leaving the owner's entry, two light switches on this wall right here. One is to turn off lights behind yourself. The other is to turn on the traveling recessed cans ahead of yourself as you move into the kitchen area. So here we are in the kitchen, and we got a lot going on in here. First of all, we're just going to talk about standard kitchen layout, this being the big wall here. And on this wall, we've got the range hood is here. This is the power for the range hood. We've got gas, 220 and 110. You have a dual fuel range, which we've accommodated. These are all outlets, horizontal per your request. These are all standard outlets. We've got a micro with a combination micro and oven here. All the outlets are 38 inches above finished floor, horizontal. You must have a tile backsplash. Low volt, we have, on this wall, we have two what are called unis. And those are dual phone data and cable satellite port. So we've got that uni here, PH6. Oh, I misspoke, I apologize. We only have a T1, which is the phone and data port. The unis there are on the other side, sorry about that. So we also have under cabinet lighting in here, and we've got low volt under cabinet lighting. Underneath the kitchen sink, we've run all of our high voltage, and that's where the main J boxes and controllers will be for the optional low volt lighting. So we'll be finishing up that low volt lighting tomorrow. The under cabinet lights. Now you've requested in very specific locations, and we are prepared for that. We've got high volt lighting, high voltage here, or under cabinet lights on this end. The locations that you have requested for under cabinet lights are here, next to each side of the range, and all the way over to this side here. Everywhere we can get under cabinet lighting on this wall, we will. The other under cabinet lighting is next to the refrigerator. This is the refrigeration spot. We've got water, power, above counter here, and then the under cabinet lighting circuit. Let me look for other options in here before we move to standard features. You've requested two pendants only. We have located those. We have split the island in three, and we have two pendants here over this large countertop that's here. We also have recessed cans in the ceiling. There's one centered over the kitchen sink, one centered just off of the range, which is in line with the kitchen sink. And 9 recessed cans in here. Some are travelers for the hallway. There's a 4-way switch over by the stairs to turn off behind yourself, and another switch for the other recessed cans. So coming back and looking at this kitchen from this side, I'm going to stand at your kitchen sink location. So say I'm standing at your kitchen sink, and that is right here. So our pendants are located out here, and they will be short of that countertop overhang. I've got some lines drawn on the floor, which when we were discussing where to hang your dining fixture, I was drawing some diagrams on the floor. But we've got 2 pendants, centered in 3. Behind us, or above us, we've got recessed can over the workspace, recessed can just behind the workspace at the range, recessed cans on each side, and then on each side of the island as well. This is the plumbing for the island. The cabinet's back up to here. The countertop goes out and overhangs 12 to 16 inches. We got power circuits around the island, 2 on the main face, 1 on this end, and 1 on this end. So that anything you're doing on this countertop or around, you'll have power source available to you. Inside of these kitchen sink base will be the disposal switch as well. That's where your garbage disposal will be operated from. So all of our wires for the low volt and high volt are in the dead space of the island. As we move to the patio door, we've got a 12-foot wide, double open center meet door, which is very nice. Opens this up to the outside. Next to the door are switches. And what we have here are, you can operate kitchen lights on a 3-way. So as you're coming through, you can turn them on or off. Cans, I've got outside recessed cans in the soffit. And we have a circuit up high per your request at the outdoor room. That is a switch circuit up there. Also on this deck, you'll see here, this is our gas barbecue location on this column. This will be a stone column. And on this side we have power, plus you have requested from a low volt on this corner a CP, which is phone, data, cable, and satellite. That's what this is here. So we got power and the CP and the CP location. So as you see in the soffit, we've got 4 recessed cans, and we've got the switch outlet up high per your request. I'm just going to stand back and so you can see, get a view looking outside the kitchen off of the deck. Come around this way, right? Give you a good view of what you'll be encountering, what you'll be looking at. Okay, on the refrigerator side, we've got refrigerator, then we've got countertop with under cabinet lighting. I've got 4 switches over here above this countertop. And what we've got here, this is where your pendants are switched. Also, I believe per your request, this is where we have the under cabinet lighting switched. We have got, 2 switches separated. They are separated per your request on that under cabinet lighting. LED strip lighting beneath the upper cabinets, correct. They are on 2 switches located here. So 2 are for under cabinet lights. We've got traveling cans behind yourself. We've got recessed cans. And then 3-way for the kitchen for the traveling to turn off behind yourself. So 4 switches on this wall here. Now here we are at the great room. Now, we're going to pause the video and we're going to move to the front entry and we'll look at everything coming forward from the front entry.